What's up, you guys? So I'm gonna do an update on the Mac. Let me explain to you how I how I use the Mac. All right. So normally with the Mac, let me show you what ChatGPT says. All right. So you can read it real quick. If you train a stock and you see the MAC line crossing above the signal line, you might consider buying. Then you hold the position until the MAC line crosses back below the signal line, which is point to a sell. When the MACD histogram moves from below to above the zero line, it indicates that the MACD has crossed above the signal line and the bullish momentum is building up. So look, let me explain to you real quick all this. This is what I'm talking about. So pretty much when this blue line crosses this orange line means there's a rally, a bullish move happening, an upward movement. Once this blue line starts crossing below it, it's signaling that the momentum for a sell now is about to start happening since it's below the orange line. Same thing in the daily candle, but once you get below this zero line, I call it the border. It's like the border. Once you start crossing the border and go south, things are gonna start getting bad. And then that's when they're signaling more of a selling, an actual sell, especially when you're on whatever candle it's on. So right now, daily, the moment it crossed this area right here, it was signaling to a trader that there was a sell-off happening. That's pretty much how you read it. So either you go on a sell or buy depending on how these candles, how these lines are acting, whether it be crossing above means bullish, crossing below is bearish, but also depending on if it's crossing this zero line. This is what they mean by the zero line. That's why you see the zero down here. That's pretty much what it is, but I add my own twist to it. That's why you see all these lines. So what I would do, I'll go to the monthly, and I marked, let me erase all these. I was comparing something. So I mark every tip, whether it be orange or blue. I'll mark it off. Now here's another one, 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 and so on. Alright? Then I go to the weekly and I do the same thing. Mark down the weekly. So see every tip. Oh, I forgot to do this one. So every tip. You have one right here. And then I tend to go just daily and 12-hour candle, mostly just daily, but on this one I end up doing 12-hour candles too. But here's your, I believe, no, there's the orange. It seemed thicker than the other lines. Tripping. Okay, so then what I did is on the monthly area, I squared off the main resistance and support area, because in a way the I think there's a MACD, right? Let me see. Yeah, the MACD. The MACD mimics the graph of the stock in a way. You see how it goes up, it goes up, goes down, goes up, give you a little peak. The next little peak, it goes down, has a little peak right here. You can see the little peak. Has a little high right here. Has a low right here, showing you this about to be a bullish sign. And you see it going up. As long as it stays above the orange line, the moment it starts breaking it, we start seeing having a sell-off, and so on, right? Goes above, it goes for a little rally, goes below. Look, there's a fake out. Now that's how it's going down. You can see the momentum here, the price actually going down, but it's notice how it's still above this green bullish indicator. On top of that, it's creating support above the orange line. Again, with all this telling you there's more rallying up. So anyways, so normally used like that. So since it's graphing in the way the graph were more accurate with all these candles and wicks, I tend to use that as my backup indicator. So look, this is the main area. Um, Honestly, I forgot what I did this. I wonder if I did this with the monthly. Because honestly, we're way far away from worrying about this area for the monthly. But this is pretty much like your foundation. If it ever does come down, this is the area that's going to be stopping. Because we're way up. And you can see right here, it just so happened to stop right where the monthly support area is at. And it makes sense because we just had a big fall this week. So you can see now this indicator is showing you that hey, we're maybe gonna take a little stop right here, kind of like we had right here in this area when we were moving up, I guess. So anyways, then you go to the weekly. One of the things I was pointing out was just like the graph. If I go to the graph right now, you gotta be able to see the trend that is on. We've been on this trend. I wonder where this one goes from. I'm gonna try something here. Booyah, right on the dot. You see how it goes right where the candle stop. So this could be the main trend line. See, touches it again. So we still got a lot. If we do drop, this is gonna be the main trend line that's gonna stop us. And if this is the main trend line, then that means that if we do have some sort of recession, it's gonna be a bad one. And this is gonna be your stop right here. As it stretches out, and you stretch out this trend line right here, the market most likely do some sort of shit like this and hit it at some sort of this time. Cause I've been talking about this shit since way back over here. Cause normally when you have a big move, You have a big move, you got retracement, 50% always. You drop down, you go 50%. So the fact that we did this big move, we even haven't have a 50% drop. That's why it's crazy. Um, so anyways, back to DMI. So oh yeah, I was gonna show you guys the trend line. So that's the main monthly trend line. So I'm gonna go. Is it anywhere? All right. So something to worry about in the future. I'm gonna stretch it out. You know, there you go. See. So at some point we are gonna touch that trend line right there. All right. So and the main one that we are right now started in January. Oh no, she. We were originally on this one right here. I mentioned in my other video. We were on that one. We ended up we were on this trend line. So look, I mentioned in my other video. We were in two. So we were on this. We've been on this long one since October, and it got canceled right here. So this is where we had what was it? This is when they were scaring us that the market was over. We peaked because we were falling for the last 4 weeks. I mentioned that in my other video, and then we got saved. And I told the homie this was gonna be the new foundation for to going up. And you can see we tested that same foundation, and after that we skyrocket. But the fact they were right here next to it, that's what I don't like. That's why I believe. So that one got canceled because it got crossed over here. You can see, watch. It crossed over right here permanently, and it canceled this trend line already. So this trend line is out. Now the one that we need to pay attention to currently. Oh, that was the one. That was the next one that was playing off. Again, got cut off right there. So that one, take it out. Now the one that we're facing is this one right here. But since we have this gap right here, and we have this new low that we created here, since this trend line is from way back there, then we have a new trend. We should have a new trend right here. So I just go from here. Technically it goes from peak to peak, so I should do something like this where it doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna do this, and if you see, that's where we are right now. We broke it, we'll close above. The next one tries it to break it. Not that, but you can see it that way. The market didn't go down just because it's our trend line, but that's the way I'm saying it. So notice how I went down to it, respected it, and going back up. Bearing point to hold. Especially because this is the weekly 50%. So that means from here to here, this is 50%. And the fact that last week we went right to the 50 instead of closing here, which that'll make more sense. This is really showing. This is because, and then I mentioned this in my other videos. I said, I'll say it. this was your first opportunity, which a lot of people missed, including myself. I said the next sweet spot is gonna be right here, which was that area that I was seeing. It was that area that I kept mentioning how it was very important, very very important. So that was your next area to take your sweet spot. Um, all right, so that was the area that sweet spot. So now this week, because what it wants to do first of all, the market's gonna save itself because they know the bots, the people, the traders, the hedge funds, they know where these prices, how these prices are important to hold or whatnot. So you got a box holding right here. It's 11:45, so it's gonna go for the last goal. Once we get to this area, seeing how you have a thick support right here, I believe we're gonna start. So earlier in my video, when I did a video around this time. I wasn't paying attention, but your sweet spot was this area right here. This is the 2-hour candle that I told the homie to go in for a sweet trade if, well, I didn't have time, but pretty much I tried to explain to him how there was a box forming and we're gonna go down, especially like if we held this area and whatnot. So the fact that we opened Sunday and then we open Sunday, close here on Sunday, but we open inside this box. That's one thing. But the second thing is closing at so that's 3, 4. The moment the fact that 5 held this area and we close at 4, candle at 6, then I would have known. Okay, we're gonna go 6. It's going trying to close this 4 candle in a high area to continue that momentum. Not just that, but we were actually breaking that trend line that's actually that I just put right now. That put right now was already there, but I forgot to point it out. So it's another thing that it's trying to stay above that weekly. So all this, getting inside this box, getting inside this 2-hour box was a buying area for me. I was crashed out, I'm not gonna lie, but that's something. Once I got on the live and started recording with you guys, that's why I like going over the market first before actually um, just going over it real quick because I miss out little opportunities like that. But that wouldn't matter because the move had already happened. Um, Again, then I said that if anything, I see it hitting this weekly area here, but not really the next area, which really the main goal for the night or for in general. But seeing how there was no data and we were scared, I didn't really see it continuing going throughout the night. But now seeing this is why I like watching, pay attention to the boxes or to the market forming these boxes along with the data. So what it's gonna do is there's a U right there. So it's 11:45. If we continue this by 11:45, 12:30, it's gonna continue and it's going to close most likely somewhere here. And then from Oh, 12:30, yeah, 11:45. So 11:45, 12:30, we will maintain this pressure in this region. Um, to then close here at 1 or 12. But yeah, that's depending where we break out of. But if we're here by 12:15, we're gonna most likely go in here close at 1, and then and that's if we still maintain it because it's still early. Because this could be just a fake out, and you can go in on a buy right here, whatever. All of a sudden at 12:15, 12:30 starts going down, and this whole night from 1 to 2 it just starts. I mean, from 12:45 or whatnot, it just starts breaking below this weekly right here, because passing this weekly is very important. So the fact that it's in this area here at that time is a perfect area to do for a trap, and then go back down all the way, or not all the way, but but slowly to the area that you started from. That'll make more sense to me, especially since we're in fear and we close with bad numbers and data and whatnot. Um, so I'm looking more for a sell-off, but that's more till later on. Um, and if anything, a sell-off will be what's that? Yeah, sell-off will be in these regions. If it ever starts getting right here, peaks, most likely will reject and start going back down somewhere in this region. And that's if we do get to this area at 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning. But if anything, this is gonna be our area to go, because you gotta remember this 12-hour candle closes at 2 in the morning. We're started down here. So seeing where we are, the market is gonna either close here at 2 in the morning, or it's gonna close somewhere um, somewhere in here, and then from there retrace on down or whatnot. If not, we're gonna close here at 2, and then from there start going down somewhere in this region, somewhere down here. And we got no data tomorrow, so I don't see the market just, you know, let's say we close here at 2. I don't see the market breaking through this, through all the scaredness that we just happened. I think it's just buying time for that trend line. So if anything, want to pay attention to shake up on this right now at 11:45, how we're reacting. Actually at 12:15, because either way this move's already happened. You want to catch the withdrawal, the retracement on down. I mean, you would want to go on these buys yourself when um when it's actually data happening, when that's the market is actually expecting it right here. And especially because right here is the weekly, so it's very important actually right here. But your area that you want to pay attention to was down here. Right here, you're pretty much risking it. You're pretty much gonna be, so you want it down here, you catch it down here. Um, Besides that, so let me go back to the DMI. I mean the Mac. So just like the weekly, it's on that trend line, and we broke a certain trend line. I was mentioning, look, this, I guess it was Mac, right? Yeah, this Mac is also indicating to you there's a trend line. It started since October, respected it bounce. And when I did this video about the I was mentioning this area right here. Notice how in the past we never did crazy moves like we did in 21 when we had the big rally after this crazy drop from 20 to 21. I mean from uh, 19 to 20, I think it was. So anyways, so the fact that we had this next crazy push on up and we did new highs, we actually created support above it. If you notice that right here, bounced back up, but then came back down to this region. And I said, hey, this is already warning saying bad things are happening. So either these next 2 weeks, I said, we're gonna need to create support and bounce back up and give it one more try, or we're gonna have bad news and we're gonna be testing this trend line. Seeing how we ended this week, how red it is, how close we are to that 50 daily. If we had that bad news, we're gonna break the trend line, not just for this graph, but the actual candle graph. So all this is pointing to red flags. We need to maintain this trend to go back up. To signal a good, healthy rally move coming up. All this right now is saying panic. The fact that it went inside this box, that's bad already. The fact that it broke this green line, that's bad because that's where you wanted to create some sort of support in this region. The fact that it went throughout below that and it's doing this right now, this is all bad. So that's how this box, you notice how this box was a monthly box. So you see how this monthly box helps me in the weekly, and that's why I had it. That makes sense now. So now I know that it's back in a bad area because this is the area where after the moves happen, they start going on down. Same like right here. Watch. Notice this pattern that I'm going to show you in the Mac. Ah, shit. Alright. There you go. So notice I pointed this out of other videos again because I did more Mac videos. Let me put them to places. So notice the high points that we have in the past. Look at the years. Notice how in even 2005 crash, 2008, whatever you want to call it, we never had crazy moves like that. The most it would be, I think it would be somewhere in these orange lines. Watch. See, there's orange lines right here every time. After that, we would fall. We would fall. But then, get into these, you start seeing more peaks and higher. So I'm gonna mark them down. So that to me, at that time, would have gave me, actually I'm not, but would have gave me some sort of indicator that something's going on with the market. Now we have new highs. So in monthly wise, I wonder what these would be in monthly wise. Anyways, so then as you keep going, you then come closer to COVID, and you had crazy moves. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna mark them. Right? And you have new highs. And then once we got to COVID, we get to that same area that's been the dropping area, especially before here. This used to be the dropping area. Now, these set the limits up here, and you're having a weak fall, a weak move happening here. And that, let's see. So this one right here, this one before the actual rally came up, this was already signaling you, hey, we're going down. We had one try, one shoulder, two tries, the head, never passed it, it semi did. And then your third warning, your final warning, the last shoulder, weaker than the other one, weaker than the prior, and then this one. On top of that, below this monthly. So all this was telling you, hey, get prepared for going down. And when you would have paid attention to that time, it was before the warning happened. The last warning was here, and that's when we had that fall. So even though the candles, and that's another thing about the MACD that it shows you that, is that as the candles go up and the MACD goes down, it's showing you that it's about to sell off, about to happen. And that's what you see here. You have a big push. You have a big push, a withdrawal. But the next one is shorter than the other one. And then after that, we have a crazy drop. So see how this was already warning you that we're going to have a crazy drop? Now this, once the market recovered all the way down there, this right here, what you couldn't really see at what point you're gonna go on up because we never had these drops before, so there was no way of me really saying, oh hey, we're in a drop. But besides that, you would have the blue sign going up, and that's what's happening right here. You have the blue sign going up above the orange, indicating you that there's a bullish uh, move happening, and that's what you start seeing. But the really indicator to go for buy would have been right here, getting to these regions. The fact that it actually crossed above that, and not just that, but actually dipped down and held it. Notice how it's touching the purple line, and then you see the blue line also go above. So all this telling you, hey, get ready for a little rally. And that's something I just learned recently to pay attention to, or to point out, to go check on it and whatnot, especially after we have these drops. Okay? So that's something that I found interesting after I'm going back, how these were already telling you your next target for future wise. So see how these set me a goal to indicate to me in the future if we're gonna keep going having new crazy highs, or if we're gonna start getting these crazy drops. So once I had new highs, I knew which areas to then focus on now, which will be these boxes right here. Since these were where the highs ended up happening, focusing on. If you know, these were the same areas that we would hit, broke this support. Broke this resistance, both of these. And again, but this time failed, and then for there we got trapped in there. And every time we came either halfway or close to there, we just start dropping. And here's your other crazy one. So the fact that we were coming to this area on the daily, and when I was looking at it, it was barely holding this area here, or it was barely here. Again, with the weekly, where the weekly was, how it was going down to that, towards that trend line, that I said it needed to create some perspective and go above and avoid from getting inside this box. The purple one up there was signaling bad news. So the fact that this one also is doing the same thing, is actually rejecting this box and then going to this rally box, and it's going, they went south on it real quick. The the moment they would have started breaking here was again, all this was signaling since last week how, hey, get ready for a drop or get ready for a big move, but it's gonna be a big one. And not just that, I also did a video using this indicator right here, where I was telling you guys that there was a big move happening. The fact that you had all these squeeze under this white line, the orange was down, the red one is the volume, the strength of it, and the blue one is going up. Whatever is above this white line is what's gonna happen, especially when you have this happening. We have this type of incident right here. See, we have kind of rich right here, really, but the good ones are these right here, the ones where they're really squeezed below. Especially after a big move like this and they end up getting tight, I think I'll tell you the big move happening. So anyways, back to the MACD. So you had the weekly already telling you to pay attention, the daily too, and then your 12-hour candle, which was, I believe, somewhere here or here again. You can even see how here there's like a little pulse, fat pulse, and then it breaks that. So all these things were telling you the fact that it was rejecting this box, and this box is where you wanted to break above to really have signal a rally move. See? That was the big one. So the fact that we were rejecting halfway here, it was like, nope. And we didn't even touch it. It was the just the volume of it, like the, the just the leftovers, whatnot. It was like, red flags, yo, red fucking red flags. So that's how the Mac, and then especially right now, I said earlier that the next area that they mentioned in the ChatGPT of how this works is that the moment you cross the zero line, especially going down, that means that get ready for a drop, and this drop is gonna have more power to it. And if you see where the SPX is at right now that I keep mentioning on this 50 daily, and you see that's why it's respecting on up, you want to see something like this. But seeing how things are right now, seeing how we're getting closer to the interest rates cut decision, I think next week, that's why the market is really scared, because this data was your make it or break it data. So the fact that I called this off this day right here on Tuesday night, the drop, and then this one right here, it's playing out like this one right here. See, same length and everything. 266. $260. See, and especially with this bad move that we end up getting, if we do get a bad data, they're gonna start panicking. Watch, they're gonna start panicking. But this is when you buy during these panics, these sell off. This is when they buy. All the motherfuckers that have the money inside, they're gonna be buying as the weeks or the days go by. Especially when they see the bottom. Bottom should be somewhere here in this region for now. It all depends how this data comes out this week. If we're gonna get some sort of save, maybe for only a week, and then next week we finally get that decision, and we're gonna either get trapped here this week, and then that final decision is gonna be whatever they say. We're gonna be happy, or we're gonna be fucking sad and finally break this and form here like a. I wouldn't be surprised if we get trapped here, since we all the uncertainty, especially with the more bad news that we keep getting. If we do keep getting bad news, I could see it get trapped here, and then maybe a Friday or Thursday either break it finally or just end up here. Because breaking this on Thursday, Wednesday will be fucking crazy. The market will be really, really scared and keep dropping. So I see that them buying time for this area right here because we're the United States, so we always want to look good. We want to, so we'll do whatever we can to keep this market looking good. Especially, you also gotta remember we got um, Biden for president still. So I know supposedly the banks and the government don't communicate with each other, but come on. Alright, so besides that, you guys, let's see where we are right now. And also, you have another resistance right here, which is the one trying to break. The next one is going to be right here. You see that rejection now? You see how I told you how it was too early to go in? It's how to wait till 12:15 how we're looking. It also makes sense because we just crossed this weekly, so it's to be too easy to just continue going up. It'll make more sense to then pause here and then start going down for 1, 2, 3 or so, or for 4. But it'll make more sense to maybe go up a little bit, hit maybe here 1 or 2, and then go back down. Because that's a lot to go for the next, where's it at, where's it at? Oh, it's right here. So let me see. 1, and then 2, 2, stay here, and then 3 and 4 start going down. That's if we get here at 2. If we keep going this area, mostly gonna close here at 1 o'clock and then start going down throughout the night. And then create some sort of support, maybe somewhere here or here. But yeah, for the MACD, you guys, that's how I use the MACD. But I normally focus on the weekly, daily, 12-hour candle, and if anything, 8-hour candle. But yeah, that's all for this, you guys.